welcome to your community, Singapore Power Platform User Group. This is the first event of Singapore User Group. I'll be talking about, in terms of the agenda, I will talk about, give you a brief introduction of the user group, who are the user group leaders, what we intend to do, tell you about some news or updates and events coming up in future, and then we will hand it over to Reza. Before I say anything else, I would like to welcome Reza to our user group and thank you so much for providing your time today to the community.
Thank you for inviting me, Prashant. Excited to be here, guys.
Thanks. All right. I would also like to thank Dynamic Communities and the 365 Jams community who have provided their support to us as a user group in Singapore. So thank you. Knowing your user group, we posted this on user group website as well. This is basically our intent, what we plan to do. We want people to learn about Power Platform products, have users in one single place so that they can connect with the wider Power Platform professionals, learn about the new releases, keep themselves up to date. We aim to create a community within Singapore that will help members grow their knowledge. We are primarily talking about users in this group who can then network and experience all components of Power Platform, which are Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, and the wider Power Platform. Your local representative or your user group leader is Goloknath Mishra. I would request you to please unmute yourself and provide your introduction, Goloknath.
Yeah, hi everyone. This is Goloknath. Basically, yes, I have more than 10 years of experience in Dynamics platform as well as Power Platform. And so I mostly looking forward for the more users to be joined in this user group so that we will have a lot of sessions in future. Along with that, we'll know what is the new things coming up in Microsoft Dynamics space, as well as mostly concentrated on Power Platform. What is the things newly coming up? And yes, I have my blogs also. I am MCT certified trainer. That's it from my end. Over to Prashant.
Thank you. All right. In terms of your second user group leader, I'm one of them. I'll be representing the Singapore user group globally to the wider dynamic communities and all of the user groups. I also have coincidentally 10 plus years of experience in the Microsoft Dynamics industry, and I would say 2 years in Power Platform. I happen to be an MVP as well as a Microsoft certified trainer. All of my tech blogs and videos, you can search by just typing DIYD365 and you might find me, including social media channels. Please do connect with me if you have any question you want to present in the user group, you want to share your thoughts. I would be happy to listen to it. In terms of some news and events, so Surface Duo was officially released on 11th of this month. And in terms of new SEL features, which are basically social emotional learning features now available in Teams and OneNote. You can read more about it on educationblog.microsoft.com. A few events which are coming up. So 22nd to 24th of September, we have got Microsoft Ignite, and you can see the link there and go and register yourself, do it in the sessions. It's going to be very insightful. 24th of September, Thursday, 5:15 p.m. AEST time, we have got an event in Brisbane, Dynamics 365 user group by Gil Walker. 26th of September, we have a Power Platform meetup where I'm speaking about mixed reality. So it would be a very basic session, just introducing mixed reality. 3rd of October, in this Singapore user group, we've got Joel and Hardit talking. So you can have a preview. They're talking about Power Apps and Teams next month. So do join us next month as well. With that, I'll hand it over to Reza and request Reza to please provide a brief introduction to the audience. And from there, you can carry on, Reza. Once again, welcome to the user group today. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashant, and thank you, Golaknath, and congratulations for starting your new user group. I'm sure this is going to do well. And for all the folks who've joined the call, support your user groups. I myself run a local user group out in Houston, Texas. It's very important to support your group and grow your group. So wish you guys all the best. I'm just here as a presenter on day one, but whenever I will get a chance, I will try my best to join this user group. And just looking at your next session, I'm really excited about that because I know both of those guys, Joel and Hardit. So please make sure to support your user group, guys. And with that thought, let's begin with our first session for today. I will go ahead and share my screens. Prashant, just let me know when you can see my screen, please.
We can see the slide deck now.
Okay, you can see the slide deck. Perfect. All right, so welcome everyone. Our session for today is AI Builder for the Power Platform. My name is Reza Dorrani. I am a Microsoft Business Applications MVP. I'm a Microsoft Power Apps community super user. I'm also a Microsoft Power Automate community super user. I was awarded as the Microsoft Flow All-Star. These were the days when Power Automate used to be called as Microsoft Flow. And I am also the founder and leader of the Houston Power Platform user group out in Texas, United States. And I will share my contact details later on at the end of the session as well. There's a lot to cover and we have around 50 minutes, so it's going to be a fun session. I'm going to try and make it as interesting as possible. So our agenda for today, of course, is all around AI Builder. We will look at what is AI Builder as part of the Power Platform. We will look at the different AI Builder types. We will explore some of the models and all of this through demos. So we're going to look at plenty of demos here around pre-built models, custom models, different scenarios in which you can utilize them in your Power Platform solutions. And we will wrap it up by me sharing some learning resources which will help you quickly get started with AI Builder for the Power Platform. So what is AI Builder? Now this is the Power Platform user group. So I'm hoping that everybody has at least heard about the different aspects of the Power Platform. But if you've not, the Power Platform has 4 basic pillars. We got Power BI, which helps you analyze your data. You have Power Apps, which allows you to act on your data. You have Power Automate, where you can automate your data, build some workflow processes around your data. And you have Power Virtual Agents, which enable you to assist in the sense you can build these low-code chatbots that you can deploy quickly in your business solutions. These are the 4 main pillars of the Power Platform. And all of these pillars can interact with your data sources no matter where your data source lives through something known as data connectors. Data connectors allow you to connect to your data sources. Also, like any good platform, there needs to be a data layer that the platform exposes. That data layer in the Power Platform, which is highly inspired from Dynamics, in fact, it is the Dynamics backend, is known as the Common Data Service, also known as CDS. So the Power Platform is pretty powerful since it provides all of these capabilities for you in a low-code, no-code experience. However, one of the missing aspects to this was artificial intelligence in a low-code manner, and that is exactly what AI Builder brings to you in the Power Platform. So what is AI Builder? AI Builder is a low-code Power Platform capability to add business intelligence or artificial intelligence to your apps and to your flows without any coding or data science skills. It is a solution that is available as part of the Power Platform that brings the power of AI to you in a point-and-click experience manner. And this AI Builder comes in various forms. They are known as models. And these models are also based upon 2 types. They are either pre-built. That means these models are ready to use. There's nothing required to be done. You just plug the model in your app or in your flow and you're ready to go. The other type of model are called the custom models, wherein you need to train the model and build the model. And then you can leverage that model in your apps and in your flows. Now, AI Builder is available for the Power Platform, but how do I access AI Builder? Well, you can either go to make.powerapps.com, which is the maker portal for Power Apps, or you can head over to flow.microsoft.com, which is the maker portal for Flow. And both of these At the bottom, there's an option known as AI Builder, which will allow you to go ahead and build your models or go ahead and explore all the models that you have built or models that have been shared with you. These models that you build either in Power Apps or in Flow can be used directly in your apps and flows. The same model that you build, you can leverage it across your apps and flows as long as you have built the model in the same environment where you have created your apps or flows. Environments are basically segregation of security, data, and content within the Power Platform. And these models that you build are specific to that environment. Also, all of the data or all of the models that you build in AI Builder, all of that information gets stored in the common data service. Prashant, since I can't see the chat window, if there are any questions, maybe after I finish the slide, if there are any specific questions, or just go off mute anyone and just ask me the question, I'll be happy to answer the questions.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye. At the moment, they're not. People have just started joining.
All right, thank you. So the next thing is, what are the different AI Builder models? So the first type of models are called the pre-built models. Pre-built models are models that are ready to use. They do not require any training or any work that you need to do. There are 8 pre-built models that are available as of today that you can leverage directly in your apps or flows without any training required whatsoever. These models are classified into various categories depending upon the AI category they relate to. The different categories are vision and language. The 8 models that I defined out here, the first one is the business card reader, which allows you to scan business cards. The second one is called key phrase extraction, which extracts key talking points from any text that you provide to the model. Language detection will detect the language of the text that you provide to the model. Sentiment analysis will detect the sentiment of the text that you provide to the model. Entity extraction will extract entities and types from text. All of this we're going to look out in the form of demos very, very shortly. I'm just giving you a brief intro into what these models are. Text recognition model basically performs OCR, which is optical character recognition. So you provide an image, it will OCR the image and grab all the text from the image. And one of the latest models that is currently in preview is known as the receipt scanning model, which basically scans receipts and provides you key data points from receipt images that you upload to this model. So these are the 8 different models that are available. The AI Builder concept is not new. It is new to the Power Platform. However, the backend engine is Azure Cognitive Services. So if you've ever worked with Azure Cognitive Services, all of these models that you're looking out currently on the screen are actually models in Azure, and AI Builder is just an encapsulation that points to those models, and all the data associated with those models are stored in CDS. Now that we've had a brief introduction of what is AI Builder, and there are these 8 pre-built models that we can leverage both in apps and in flows, let's go through a few demos and look at how we can utilize this to enhance our applications further.
Before you deep dive into demos, Reza, there is a question.
Yes, please.
I don't understand if that's the name, but it says PG. Which
Okay.
of the pre-built models will help in extraction of key information from contracts, or we will need to build a custom model for that?
So for fetching information from contract documents, you would have to build a custom model for that. However, in future, the AI Builder team is working on additional pre-built models for very common use cases like contracts. Receipts was one of the top asked features, and that's how the receipt scanning model came in. So those pre-built models will come in future, but currently, if you want to extract information from contract documents or let's say invoice documents, in that case, you would have to go ahead and leverage one of the custom models. And I have a demo on that one as well.
There's one more from Rishikesh. Can we use a PDF as input or only images for text extraction?
So this, so as far as the OCR model goes, I believe it only accepts images. However, most of these models are evolving over time. The AI Builder team is consistently working on improving the experience. So these things are going to change over time. They might be supporting only a few formats today. However, as time progresses and as these models mature, rest assured you're going to get plenty other options available. So as we walk through the different models, I will walk through the limitations as well associated with each one of them. A good question though. And I'm now looking at the chat window, so no more questions, so I'm moving ahead.
Sure, thank you.
All right, so the first demo is on the pre-built models. And first I will show you the demos related to Power Apps. Later on, I will show you one example of a pre-built model in Flow as well, because many a times I notice Flow is neglected. Many people forget that you can also leverage these models in Flows. So you can perform either automation or use them in your applications. Now, this app, what you're looking at, guys, is something that I have already shared in the community. And literally all you have to go and do is go to the community forum, download this app and install this app. And this app is ready to go in your tenant straight away. So if you like this app and you would like to go ahead and try this out and test this out, it's available in the community forums. I will share the link as well later on during the session. Now, as part of this app, I have gone ahead and listed out all those pre-built models right here. The first one that we're going to explore is the sentiment analysis model. Now, sentiment analysis basically detects the sentiment of text that you provide to this model. Now, in this case, I have text that says I am good. Now, if I detect the sentiment of this text, it is positive. So it tells me that yes, the response is basically a positive sentiment. Here's another phrase that I put in. The food was delicious and the staff was wonderful. Once again, it's a positive sentiment that I am providing right here. So it's going to detect a positive outcome. You can even have multiple statements that you put forth to the sentiment analysis model. So in this case, I have two separate statements. One says that the products offered are of high quality and offer great value. And the second one says the customer representative, though, was very rude. Now, if I detect the sentiment for this, the model is smart enough to know that these are two separate statements. So it's going to handle them separately. Give me the sentiment of each statement separately, and at the same time, give me the overall sentiment of the text that was provided as well. Now, how do you go about building something like this? How did I build this screen? The first thing is, in order for you to go ahead and leverage the AI Builder models in Power Apps, specifically the pre-built models, you need to ensure that you go to File, Settings, Advanced Settings, and one of the advanced setting options that are available is known as AI Builder. So make sure that this is turned on. Any new apps that you create will automatically have this turned on. However, if there are older apps or older solutions that you've built, this feature may not be turned on. So make sure that you turn this on in order to leverage the AI Builder formulas. Now in this screen, relatively simple screen, I just have a text control in Power Apps. I have a button called Detect Sentiment. And all I'm doing on click of this button is I'm firing a function or a query, which is AI Builder. That's the object that's available once you turn on that experimental feature, dot analyze sentiment. Now, I just want to show you something. If I type in AI Builder dot, it will open up all those different pre-built models that I can directly call. Sentiment analysis, text classification, language detection, and so on and so forth. It also comes with baked-in intelligence. So if I pick analyze sentiment, it's going to ask me for the text that I need to analyze. That's all I have to provide to this model. I don't need to train this model. It's ready-made, pre-built for me to use. In this case, all I'm doing is the moment this button is clicked, I'm setting a variable called sentiment output. Now, if we explore this variable gives me different key metadata points once the model processes the text that I have provided to it. So it gives me the sentiment, which is the overall sentiment, which is mixed. It also gives me something called as sentences, which is a table. Now, if you want to explore this in more depth, if I go to view and if I head over to variables, one of my global variables is detected sentiment, which is right here. If I select this and go to record, this will give me that same information right here. If I go to sentences, this will break out each and every sentence and give me the sentiment. So if you observed the text that I put in, the sentiment that was positive, the text associated with that, it will give you where the length of the text was and when it started and when it ended. So basically it doesn't give you the exact text, but it tells you where in the text that you provided has it detected that statement. And that's exactly what I query here in this gallery to go ahead and show you the data points as different line items. So there's a little bit of code involved here, but overall it's extremely simple because all I had to do was basically call AI builder.analyze sentiment and just pass the text and I was good to go. The simplest form, the simplest model actually that's available is the sentiment analysis model. Okay, I do not see any questions, so I'm going to move ahead to the next one. Also, as part of this app, before I move on, every screen that I have built has a help icon on the top right. So if you select this, it will open up a pop-up, and this pop-up will explain to you exactly what that model does. So the sentiment analysis model detects sentiment. You can use this for social media posts, customer reviews, so on and so forth. It also returns document scores in the ranges of 0 to 1, indicating how confident the model is that the detected sentiment is positive or negative. So you don't have to rely on the model. You can even add additional logic to decide the sentiment output based on your calculations. Also, as part of the pop-up, I have provided links to the documentation. So if you click on this, this will take you to the official documentation on docs.microsoft.com, which will clearly highlight how you can use this, which languages are supported, and what are the different capabilities associated with this model. I see a question that says, how would it handle a phrase as service could have been better? Okay, so let's try that out. Service could have been better, and this was by PG Guest. Right, let's remove this. Doesn't matter, it's just natural language. So I'm just going to go ahead and detect the sentiment. As you can see, service could have been better. It has detected that the sentiment is not positive. It's given you a return object of a negative sentiment in this case. Also, it has detected that the sentiment is negative. But if I go back to the variable, in this case, if I go to the record, and if I look at the sentiment, it's negative. If you look at the document score, it is 0.99% confident that the sentiment is negative. So it's 99% sure that this is a negative sentiment, which in reality it is. I hope I was able to answer your question. Okay, so I'm going to play the app again, go out, and let's go to the second pre-built model. This one is language detection. Once again, a very simple model that just detects the language that has been provided. So if I say hello everyone, and if I want to detect the language of this text, it's just straight away going to detect the language and give me the output. In this case, it's English. If I go ahead and put in something like gracias a todos, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This, I believe, is Spanish, so it's going to detect the language and return me Espanol. For my Indian friends in the room, aap kaise ho? That means how are you? If I detect this language, it's going to go ahead and detect that the language is in Hindi. So basically, it's a very simple model. You just provide text, and this model returns the language. It also gives you a score between 0 and 1. 0 means it's not confident that the detected language is correct. Scores closer to 1 means the model is supremely confident that the language that it has detected is correct. It's the most basic language that you can use. And there are only a specific set of languages that it supports. The documentation right here clearly highlights which languages are supported. I see a question, how are these models licensed? Like all these models are included in Power Platform license or anything additional. In the later part of the session, I will cover licensing, just to let you know that the licensing is premium. How would it handle mixed languages? Great question. It cannot handle mixed languages, unfortunately. So what you can do in your apps and flows is you can break your sentences and provide your text. So if you mix languages, it will still detect the language that it thinks it's correct, and it will give you a confidence score. Of course, the confidence score will drop if mixed languages are provided. Good question once again. All right, moving ahead to the third pre-built model. This one is called text recognition, and basically text recognition, all it does is OCR, which is optical character recognition. Now this control that you see right here is no magic control. All I had to do was go to insert, go to AI builder and select text recognition. That's it. And the moment I add this model, so Sashi asked me the question, is this premium? Yes, it is premium. The moment I add the model, it notifies you that this is premium. Every AI builder model requires a premium license. So all I had to do was literally just drop that control, and that's exactly what I've done in my case. And now in this control, you can go ahead and upload images. So I have an AI builder inventory that I have pre-created. One of my images right here is an image that I stole from the web around the Power Apps community plan. Notice what this model does. It goes ahead and extracts text from the image that I have uploaded. And it's going to return me the data line by line. It also puts a box around the artifacts that it has detected. And that information is what I retrieve right here in my app. The beauty of OCR is it not only detects text from images, it can also detect decent handwriting. This is my bad signature, and that's not my name, but it tried, and it does detect handwriting as well. So it can go ahead and detect text from images, and that's called the text recognition model. Once again, a very simple and straightforward model. Just drag and drop, detect the text, and you have your information ready to go. Once again, a question, does the OCR accuracy depend on the image quality and contrast? Yes, 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 it does. Once again, if I head over to the information icon, and I did make a change yesterday, that's the reason why you don't make changes on the last day. Let me go ahead and reorder this and bring this to the front. Okay, so if I head over to the documentation for the text recognition model, there are only specific set of languages that it supports. It does support PDF, as you can see. Initially, when they launched it, it did not. So once again, over time, it does. There are specific languages that it supports. There are limits in terms of the sizes that it can support, and it does provide the output. So yes, it does depend on the image quality and the contrast that is associated with your image. The cleaner your image is, the higher resolution the image that you provide, the easier it is for the model to detect the text. All great questions. Okay, going to head back and move on to the next model. This model is known as key phrase extraction. And basically what this model does is it identifies the key talking points in text that you have provided. So here's an example right here. I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to go right here and paste this. So my text is, the food was delicious and the staff was wonderful. The service, so what this service does, or what this AI builder model does, is when I extract this text, it will go ahead and detect the key talking points. So here the key talking points are that the staff was wonderful and we are relating to food, right? The staff was wonderful and we are relating to food. Those are my key talking points in my text. Let's try something else. Let's try a use case wherein we receive an order number from a customer. The customer says very slow delivery, poor customer support. They are asking me to cancel my order, so on and so forth, basically a rumbling customer. If I extract the text, once again, it's going to get me the key talking points. It's related to an order, it's related to slow delivery, it's related to poor customer support, and they're complaining that something's late. So this is what the text recognition model does. It just basically goes and extracts key talking points from text. Very, very similar to what, if you've ever, so in SharePoint, if you've looked at documents, now documents come with these key talking points. So if you actually provide text from a document right here, it can actually grab those key talking points right here. Once again, it's a pre-built model, so you cannot train it. You cannot tell the model that, hey, you missed the number 2 here. It should have been 2 hours. It doesn't do that. That's the way it has been designed. Unfortunately, you cannot edit this model. However, we'll talk about the custom models that will give you more opportunity. And I believe one of the questions was around that. So I hope that answers your question. So this one is key phrase extraction. Let's move ahead to the next one. The next one is called business card scanning. Now, once again, this is a control. And how did I get this control? If you go to Insert, AI Builder, there's a control called Business Card Reader. Now what this control does is it allows you to scan business cards. Once again, let me go to my business card scanning component and let's upload my business card. And the moment I upload my business card, the scanning component will run and it will provide me key data points from that control. For example, my name, which is incorrect, my job title, my email, right? Now, how do I grab all of this information? So this control right here, what I can do is just pick the control name. And if I just put dot, this will list out all the properties that are available as part of the business card scanning component. The city, the country code, the street, the company name, department email, plenty of data points that this model provides and growing over time. If I play this and just change this business card again, just to prove that I was not cheating, I did not hard code anything right here. I've just gone ahead and picked up another business card. And as you can see, it goes ahead and changes the results. I see a question. Does the business card reader depend on text orientation? Can it detect text that is aligned vertically? Unfortunately not. It doesn't do that. It needs to be horizontal. There are certain limitations around how the image should be. Once again, our friend is our documentation. There are specific languages that it supports, only English today. It has to be in these 3 formats, and the business card image size that you're uploading cannot be greater than 6 megs. Now guys, one more thing I would like to add here is the business card component and the text recognition component. Both of them have this control that allows me to upload images. Now please note, I am currently playing this app in my web browser. If I was playing this app directly on my mobile device, the scenario would be different. It would actually open the camera on my mobile device or my tablet device, and I can directly take an image then and there. I actually use this app a lot during pre-COVID days when I used to go to conferences and I used to meet people. The moment I would receive their business card, I would open my app, scan the business card, and just add it to a contact group that I created in Outlook, and I just push it there. So as part of this app, I actually added that same functionality here, just so that I provide a little bit more context to it. Okay, so that's business card scanning. The next one that I will cover is entity extraction. Now, entity extraction basically extracts entity from text. What are these entities? Currently, this model supports entities of these types. For the Power Virtual Agent folks in the room, especially Prashant, Power Virtual Agents also supports entities. These are very, very similar entities to Power Virtual Agents. Okay, so for example, if I enter text that relates to my age, it will be able to go and identify that the text in question is relating to the entity age. If I enter a city name, it will be able to go and identify that. So let's go ahead and test this out and see how this works. Now in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put that same text I put earlier, order number so-and-so, took 2 hours for the representative to respond. So if I extract this text, notice what happens right here. It tells me 2 things. It got an entity of type number. The value was 4535 right here. And it is 80% confident, 0.8, that it is a number. The next one, it identified text 2 hours, and it is 80% confident that it is related to the entity duration. Let's go ahead and try something else. On May 5th, it was sunny outside with 86 degrees and the reflection of the blue sky on the ocean was predominant. Yes, I made this up. If I extract this, look at the different data points it captures. It's captured date time, which is May 5th. It's captured temperature, which is 86 degrees. It's also gone ahead and captured color, which is blue. And just to add one final touch to this, here's my profile. So it's going to grab a lot of information right here. Person name, Reza Dorrani. City, Houston. State, Texas. Organization, Catapult Systems. URL, so-and-so. So extremely powerful model for categorizing your text or for fetching data from your text and then driving certain logic out of this. Now I see another question for dates. Does it depend on the users or apps, US or UK when detecting date format? Yes, it does depend. There are only specific date formats that it supports. And once again, our friendly source is our documentation. based on what are the different languages that it supports. But from what I've tested, it does support both English, US and UK format dates. I have tried it out, but I'm 80% confident that my answer is correct, just like my model. Okay, so these were some examples of the pre-built models, and I have a Power App right here. And guys, you can go and download this app and start playing with this app. Go try different text out, try different scenarios out, and see if the models work for you, and then utilize these models in your business solutions. Now, all of the demos that I provided of these pre-built models, these same models can also be leveraged in Flow. So you don't have to use them only in Power Apps. In order for you to use them in Flow, the key is that you have to build your flows in solutions. So if you have your flows built in solutions, in that scenario, you will be able to leverage all of these pre-built AI builder models. Here is one real world use case that I'm going to show right now. In this case, I have a Microsoft form. And for folks who are not aware of what Microsoft Forms is, it's basically a service in Office 365 that allows you to build surveys. Okay, quizzes and surveys, anonymous quizzes. In this scenario, I have gone ahead and built a customer satisfaction survey, and users can come in and provide their feedback based on the products and services that my company offers. Now, one of the controls, or one of the aspects of this form is a text control, wherein I'm asking them to give me additional comments or ask me any questions. Now, more or less, many a times when surveys are given out, 90% of the times people just randomly go and just, okay, they are satisfied, things went very well, your product's excellent, Reza. The user's name is John, email is whatever, and they typically go in and even if they feel it's average, they might say, yeah, it's average, above average. They don't give you their true feeling, right? The true sentiment around what they think about your product. Now, let's say we add this text box where they have to comment something or have to provide some information. And this is where I can again leverage the sentiment analysis model. But this time I'm using Microsoft Forms, so I can actually leverage Flow to tell me that whenever feedback is provided around my products and services that my company offers, if the sentiment is negative, go ahead and email my marketing team or go ahead and email the product team. So let's go ahead and try that. I'm going to put something out here that says, your products were good, but overall the price needs to improve. And then maybe products can be of better quality. Again, natural language, so I'm purposely going to spell quality wrong here. And I'm going to go ahead and submit this. So all I've done right now is I've gone ahead and I've taken a survey in Microsoft Forms. Now, on the other side, I have a flow that will run whenever a new survey is added. And as you can see, 10 seconds ago, my flow has executed. And in this, the flow will go ahead and detect the sentiment. So I can go and grab the sentiment and accordingly decide what I want to do with it. And the way I can do that right here is use something known as predict. So let me edit this flow and show you how I can grab that information. Right here in flow, I will go ahead and add an action. One of the actions or the connectors is called AI Builder. So if I pick this, all of those predefined models that I showcased in the Power App are all available right here for me to use, right? All of those things, business card scanning, text recognition, right? All of that information is right here. And one of them is analyzing the sentiment of text. So all I need to do is pick this, provide the language in which I want to detect my sentiment. So in this case, it's English, pick English, and then just give the text. And this will output the same data points that Power Apps provides. So you are not limited to apps. You can also go ahead and leverage each and every one of those pre-built models that I showcased earlier in your flows as well. Okay, now let's look at another use case. This one is the expense reporting solution. Of course, we are running short on time, so I have to speed up a little bit more. I will just directly showcase the solution in action. Okay, so here is a Power App that I have set up, and this Power App is basically an expense reporting application that users can come in to this, can utilize this app and file their expenses. And then there is an automation process around this, an approval process around this, and so on and so forth. So let's say I log into my expense portal in my organization and I try to add a new expense, breakfast. How about this? Virtual breakfast with user group. And the start date for this is today. The end date for this is today. And the cost center is Microsoft. I'm going to build this to Microsoft. I'm going to say virtual breakfast, and I am going to create my expense. So all I did right now is just went ahead in my system, created an expense. Now, once you add an expense, you typically add line items for your expense wherein you upload the receipts. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new line item. Now, when I add a new line item right here is where I can go ahead and leverage the new component, which is called receipt scanning. So if I go to AI Builder, guys, there's something known as receipt scanning. Now, if I select this, and let me go to a new screen first and show you what this component looks like. I'm going to go to receipt scanning. And what this will do is this will go ahead and upload a new control. And as part of this control, what you can do is you can scan receipts, or if I'm on my mobile device, I can upload receipts on the fly. And these receipts are random pictures that you can take or images that you can upload. And the moment you capture you upload this image right here, this will go ahead and grab all the data points. So as you can see right here, it's gone and grabbed ahead the total of my receipt, the tax associated with it, the different line items, and even the vendor as well as the name. So this component is extremely powerful purely because this can go ahead and grab all the information for me on the fly and get me all that information based on the receipt that I uploaded. This is a pre-built model that is available now as part of AI Builder. And this model is currently in preview. So it is very important to note that this is a preview model. So a preview model means something that is not to be used in a production scenario. And let me show you once again this app in action. So if I head back to my app, let's go back to my expenses app. Just give me 1 second again, because I'm trying to see if I have this set up in a different tenant, because I did make changes right here. In the meanwhile, any questions while I set it up? It'll take me a minute. Okay, no questions. I am opening the same application in a different tenant. Extend my trial, please. Still evaluating features. Okay, nobody wants my phone number. Extend my trial. Thank you.
There were 2 questions actually.
Yes, please. So receipt scanning is leveraging the OCR feature, right? Absolutely, yes, Golaknath, you're absolutely right. Receipt scanning actually at the back end first does OCR to go ahead and grab all the data points, and then there is some inbuilt logic that has been baked into that model that goes ahead and identifies the different data points. So the answer to your question is yes, it actually does OCR first at the back end, and that's why you see the borders around all the expenses that I uploaded. Does the AI Builder connector also show up on your own custom model as actions? Yes, when you build your own custom models, they won't show up as actions because they're not pre-built models. You have to go to insert in Power Apps and insert your model straight away out there. So it will show up in those models, not in the actions. And in Flow, they will show up as all the actions that are available in Flow. Also, PG says on the expense app from a licensing perspective, will all my users have to have a premium license? Unfortunately, yes, every user who uses the Power App does require a premium license purely because that's how this has been designed. Okay, so now in the interest of time, I'm not going to go ahead and fill in all those cute little details around me having breakfast with you guys. So I'm just going to quickly move ahead and create a new expense. And the moment I create this expense, I'm going to go ahead and upload a line item. And once I try to upload the line item, this is where I've added that receipt scanning model. And right here, I am going to go ahead and upload my receipt. So go ahead and grab my receipt right here. And let's say I grab this receipt. And what this will do is this will go ahead and process the receipt, scan the receipt, get the data points, and guess what? Fill out the form for me as well, once it grabs all that information. Bummer. Let's try it again. one. Let's try it once more. So all good questions, guys. Licensing, yes, you need premium. Every Power App user needs the premium license. So there you go. I just scanned my receipt. It's gone ahead and grabbed the information from my receipt. It's got the name of the vendor. It's got the total cost. Right now, it only supports United States receipts. Support for more regions are coming shortly. This is a preview feature right now. It got me the transaction date. It actually also tells you about whether it's food related or not. So you could go ahead and categorize this as well. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And guess what? My line item now is associated with my receipt. You can even click and see the receipt that I uploaded. Once again, this entire app, this entire solution, guys, from scratch is available for you to download from the community channels. I've actually uploaded this solution for free. So if you like it, you want to go ahead and try this out, I will give you links at the end of the session. Go ahead, grab it, and utilize it in your business use cases. Okay. These were a couple of demos. So I'm going to quickly move ahead to the next one. I do see another question in here. So when we scan on the go, does it also attach it? No, it doesn't attach it on the fly. I have built a solution in Power Apps that also attaches it in my data source of record. Okay, so moving ahead to the next one. These are now the custom models. Custom models are basically models that you build by choosing a model type. You build them, you train them, you teach them, and finally you publish them, and then you use them. So these are models that you need to do some work on. Okay. Now, when you select the model type, you have to provide some data to it depending upon the model you selected. And then you got to go ahead and train your model. There are 5 different custom model types that you can use. I was asked a question about entity extraction. Can I add my own entities? Yes, you can. There is a custom entity extraction model where you can go ahead and build those custom scenarios. There is also a custom category classification model. So both category classification and entity extraction, which are based on the category language, they are also pre-built models. So you can either use them in the pre-built form, or you can extend them for your business use cases. The other 3 models, form processing, object, and prediction, are the 3 other custom models that you can leverage. For today, and with the interest of time, guys, I'm going to show you 2 scenarios. I'm going to show you one around form processing, and I'm going to show you one around object detection. So let's go ahead and explore these models. First one is forms processing. This obviously is a custom model, so it requires training. This model identifies structure of your documents based on the data you provide and can extract text. So I was asked this question, if I upload my contracts, can I extract specific data points from my contract documents? Yes, you can, by using the form processing model. It uses machine learning technology to identify and extract data points. It extracts data points in 2 forms. One, key value pairs. I'll show you what this is when I actually run the demo. And second, OCR, which is optical character recognition. Of course, OCR is also provided to add your own data points. Classic use cases of this model is tax forms or invoices. And here's an example and prerequisites of what you need to do. First, you have to have CDS, purely because all AI Builder information goes into CDS. Second, you need a minimum of 5 documents that you upload to train and teach the model. Please note, when you're training the model, your documents need to have a similar layout. I cannot have a contract document where the customer name is on the top left and a second contract document where the customer name is at the bottom right. In that scenario, go ahead and build 2 different models for these different customers. In future, there is a pre-built model coming out that will handle those cases for you, but right now you are limited to this. Also, the documents that you upload can either be JPEGs, PNGs, or PDF format. It could be text or they could be scanned documents. Also, they need to be high resolution. You need to ensure that they are horizontal. There are certain limitations around these. The combined size of all the documents that you upload to train the model cannot exceed 50 meg. So when you're training the model, and if you're uploading 50 documents to train the model, your total size cannot exceed 50 megs of 500 pages. The key thing here is in total. Okay, now that we've seen this, the language supported is English and so forth. Once you upload your documents, the first step is add your docs. Second step is tag your docs. Third step is train the model, publish the model. It's good to go. Use it in your Power Apps, use it in your flows. Now let's go ahead and look at a demo of this. In this case, I have an invoice processing solution demo. While I set up my demo, I see a question from PG again. Can we build clustering model and forms to automatically sort the forms into separate bins by form type? Unfortunately, you cannot do that purely because when you provide the information to the model, it will only give you the data points. So no clustering allowed at the moment. You can build multiple models, and maybe when the user uploads a document, they pick the category as well. They need to pick it. So they tell you that this is related to customer A. So you know that customer A is the data type. So let me use model A. If they pick customer B, let me go ahead and relate to model B. So you can do things like that. Okay, let me go ahead and close expenses. We close forms, and let's go ahead and understand the form processing model. So in order for you to build the custom models, you got to go to AI Builder. You can go either in Power Apps or Flow, it doesn't matter, and go to build. Now, when I head over to build, this will list out all the custom models that I can build and also all the productivity models that are available as of today. I will go ahead and pick form processing. Now, many a times when we are building things, we are always in a hurry to build things and we keep running ahead. So always good to read the different data points that have been provided. So right here it tells you that this model can automatically process documents. You need to upload a minimum of 5 documents. You can pick areas in your documents which the model can learn and understand. So it clearly tells you what you can do with this model. It also gives you a few real good examples, which I've basically stolen in my presentation. Also gives you best practices. So use documents with a similar layout when training your model, right? Layouts can't be different. Also, documents need to have primarily text. It cannot understand checkboxes or multi-grids. It doesn't do things like that right now. There are certain limitations that this model has, and all of these things are very well documented in docs.microsoft.com. Okay, going to go ahead and go back to get started and call this UG Singapore, create. So I'm going ahead and I'm creating this model. Now, while this model is being created, let me go to my data source, which is, go to my inventory, and let's say I have invoices. I run a company. I receive invoices from customers, and this is how my invoice documents look like. All right, I'm trying to open my PDF file. Here is my PDF file, right? My company is RD Enterprises. Here's the street address of my company, the date of the invoice number. Bill to is the customer name, the customer's address, the different services that I offer in tabular format, and other data points. Of course, I receive invoices in a similar format. So if I open up a second invoice document, the format will be more or less the same. Of course, the data will be different, right? In this case, my customer is Rafael Nadal, and Nadal has just asked me for Power Apps training. The previous customer was Serena Williams. She asked for a lot more training. So tabular data was different, but more or less the structure is the same. Okay. Now let's say I want to automate this process. So what I can do is I can go ahead and add documents first to train the model. You can pick these documents from SharePoint, Azure Blob, or your local storage. In my case, I'm going to pick my local storage. Go to my repository, go to invoices, and guess what? I already had 5 documents. Just going to go ahead and upload the 5 documents. Now, please note 5 is the minimum number. The more documents you upload and the more you train the model, the better the confidence of the model becomes. And the model does give you the confidence score and many other important analytics that you can leverage to further enhance your model that you're building in AI Builder. Now I uploaded the minimum documents and I hit on analyze. So right now the model is analyzing the different data points in my documents that I have uploaded. While it is analyzing, let's take a few questions. So how does the model anchor the fields? Is it positioned based on its anchor to specific phrases above and below each text? The answer is yes and no. It does it in 2 ways depending upon how it has detected the field. So there are 2 ways in which it detects fields. Let me show you both. Now I need to go ahead and select my fields. So right here, as you can see, this model has gone ahead and detected certain fields automatically for me. For example, right here, bill to Rafael Nadal. So it's already detected this for me. Why has it detected this? Because there is a key and there is a value. What's the key? The key is bill to. Bill to is consistent across all the documents that I uploaded. So it quickly understood that there is a text called bill to, and right below it, whatever that bucket is the value associated with it. So these are known as key value pairs, right? Right here, I can select this and I can say, yes, this is good, right? I want the model to grab me this information. Another thing that it has detected right here is a table, right? So I can say, yeah, this is a tabular information. It's good. I need this. Balance due is $100. Yes, I need this, right? Key value pair. But many a times there could be scenarios wherein it has not detected things for me. Like right here, you see 4672 and the date. It's missed it. Why? Because there are no key value pairs there. However, it also does optical character recognition. So now I can go and train the model to tell the model that guess what? Right here is my invoice number. Okay. So I am training the model. I am teaching the model that based on OCR that you have done, this position is where you will find the invoice number. Right here is where you will find the date. So in this case, if you observe guys on the right, these three are key value pairs. These two are custom tags that I have defined. And that's why they have this little information icon next to it that tells me that I have manually added this. Now, when I confirm, when I'm good with all the data points I have captured, if I hit confirm, what the model will do is it will go and train itself for all the automated points. But because I added a few things manually, it will ask me to go through each and every document that I uploaded to train it and inform it where these manual fields are. So you see right here, invoice number, it's asking me to draw it again. So, okay, let me draw it. It's right here. All right, bill to, let me draw it. It's right here. And I got to do this for each and every document right here. And once I go through this process, all I have to do is hit save and hit publish. And once I do that, my model is ready to go. Of course, we don't have time here to train the model and wait for the model to be trained. I have already gone ahead and done that. So let's go back to AI Builder and let's go to my models. Another question was, does this work on multi-page invoices? Yes, it does. Does it work on scanned PDFs too? Yes, it does. It does. Now, here's my model of invoices, guys. And right here, this is a model that I built and I trained. As you can see, I have defined all these data points, invoice number, date, and so on and so forth. And I can also go and quickly test the model, or I can directly click on use model and use it in apps and flows. This will create a template prototype for you. Extremely, extremely powerful. Okay. Now that I've trained this model, Reza says extremely, extremely powerful. Well, Reza, can you prove it to me? Yes, let's try it. Let me show you a use case. I am an organization that receives invoices on a daily basis. Right here, I have a SharePoint document library where all my invoices come in. So customers send me invoices via emails. I have a flow that picks up all that information and dumps it in my SharePoint list or library. Now, typically, once my invoices come in, so let's go to files and let's upload, let's say all the same 5 invoices. All those invoices are uploaded right here, right? Typically what we do, we open the invoice and we start adding the metadata points, the customer name, the balance, the due date, the invoice number, the invoice date, and so on and so forth, right? We need to do a lot of work. Yes, I just uploaded 5 invoices. What if my company receives 100 invoices a week, 1,000 invoices a month, 500K invoices a year? My company must be doing very well for that, but let's assume I receive those many invoices. It's a lot of work that I need to do. What if I can automate this? So if I go to solutions, I have a flow and I have a solution called invoice processing. And as part of this solution, I have a flow that I have created, which is called when a file is created in a folder right here. And as part of this flow, Prashant, how much time do I have?
1 minute, but we can
1 minute. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go through this demo. So as part of this flow, I'm calling this flow when a new document goes into my invoice library. I'm calling that same predict action, guys. I'm picking invoices, right? That is the name of my model. So all my custom models will also show up right here. Somebody had asked that question before. They will all show up right here. I'm defining the type of my content that's coming in. I know they are PDFs. I can check it in flow whether it's an image or a PDF and accordingly give the doc type. And once I do that, the model will automatically give me all the data points. And right here, I was just trying to waste time. If I go back, notice right here, not a single entry was something that I did manually. It was all done by the flow. And just to prove my point that I'm not hard coded anything right here, if I click on this document is the document number 4672. Rafael Nadal, he asked for Power Apps training. He wanted 2 training packages for $50 each, so a total of 100. If I go back right here, this is my information. All that information is exactly right here. And those tabular information that you saw, that table, I even have that data fetched from the model. So if I go to items, the training that he asked for is right here in a separate list that I'm storing. Power Apps trading, quantity 2, price 50, total 100. So you can grab a lot of these key data points and showcase them right here. Extremely, extremely powerful. Once again, if you would like to see this being built from scratch, I have it on my YouTube channel. Go ahead and check it out. In the interest of time, because I want to be respectful of everyone's time, there's another model called object detection where you can detect objects. I actually had a demo for that. It was a fun demo, but I'm going to skip that for now, guys. I'm going to move ahead and finally go to some learning resources. So go ahead to docs.microsoft.com, get started. They have really, really good documentation and videos, guided videos that will help you learn. Go ahead and try those out. The questions were asked around licensing. AI Builder has extensive licensing that you need to be aware of. More importantly, they have put out something known as an AI Builder calculator. Go ahead and check this out. So for example, if I'm processing 100 invoices a month, use the AI Builder calculator so you can guesstimate how much it is going to cost you per month. I have worked with a lot of customers, and trust me guys, AI Builder calculator is something that I use day in, day out. Use it, otherwise you might be surprised by the bills that you're going to receive at the end. Finally, learning resources. All what I showed you today is available on my YouTube channel. Invoice processing, pre-built model, expense reporting, everything that you see is available on my channel. Go ahead and check my channel out. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you so much for joining. And these are my details.
Thanks, Reza. That was really insightful. Thank you for sharing. I just wanted to give everybody a heads up that the recording would be available on user group website, probably within 2 business days. So that's why we are asking you to either join the user group website or the meetup so you are aware that it's been posted. Thanks. Reza, you were saying something?
No, I just wanted to say thank you once again for giving me this opportunity, and thank you everyone for joining. Support your user group, guys. Go ahead, spread the word, ensure that this group grows over time, and I'll be very, very happy to come again in future and maybe talk about something completely different. Thank you.
Thanks, Reza.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you everyone for attending. Enjoy your weekend.